Are you cold? Well, Norway isn't. And in that cold, almost every second new car sold is electric. Why is the EV revolution dominating cold Scandinavia? We'll break it down. It's not magic, but a cunning combination of politics, big money, an ultra-dense charging network, and a bit of that ironclad Nordic logic. A brief, undeniable fact: Scandinavia, and especially Norway, is the global benchmark for the transition to electric vehicles. In Norway, the share of fully electric BEV cars among new sales is almost 9 out of 10. This isn't just a trend, it's total market dominance. For comparison, the EU average is many times lower. And this didn't happen overnight. It's the result of a set of systematic, long-term political decisions and very specific local conditions. To understand this phenomenon, I will lay it out step by step. We will look at 6 key drivers of this revolution. 1. Deadly taxes for ICE cars and sweet incentives for EVs. 2. Infrastructure, where and how Scandinavians charge their cars. 3. Why electricity is simply cheaper than fuel. 4. The role of corporate fleets and leasing. 5. Environmental culture and urban policy. 6. Case studies of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. And finally, what exactly other countries should adopt. Here's the main secret. It lies in the financials, fiscal stimuli. In Norway, the government, starting back in the 90s, created the perfect financial storm for internal combustion engine, AC, vehicles. Traditional cars are subject to draconian duties, excises, and the full VAT, 25%. And here's the crucial part. Electric vehicles were completely exempt from these taxes. Imagine, you buy a petrol equivalent, which instantly becomes 30 to 50% more expensive than the electric one. This makes the EV economically smart right at the point of purchase. In Denmark and Sweden, the mechanisms are similar. Tax credits, reduced registration fees for BEVs, and import benefits. Critically, these rules were long-term and predictable. This gave buyers and manufacturers confidence. For the next 5 to 10 years, an EV is profitable and officially sanctioned. The second equally important factor is infrastructure. What good is a cheap electric car if you can't charge it? Scandinavian countries, especially Norway, have invested heavily in the charging network. And we're not just talking about big cities, but also mountain roads, highways, and remote settlements. They solved the main issue that scares buyers: range anxiety, the fear of running out of charge. Norway now has one of the densest networks of fast charging stations per capita in Europe. Anywhere in the country, you know you'll find a place to quickly top up your range within a reasonable distance. This removes the last psychological barrier. Scandinavia historically has some of the highest petrol and diesel prices in the world. The reason? Again, taxes, which often include environmental levies. The polluter pays principle works at full force here. As a result, operating an ICE car is a continuously expensive process. And this is where the EV steps in. If you charge at home on a discounted night rate or have solar panels, the cost of 100 kilometers of driving becomes many times, sometimes tenfold, lower. The final total cost of ownership, that's the deciding factor for the pragmatic Scandinavian. Half of all new cars in Europe are corporate or leased fleets. In Scandinavia, the share is even higher. Governments there intentionally introduced powerful tax benefits for company electric vehicles. For a business, this means simplified expensing, accelerated depreciation, or reduced tax on employee usage. When a major leasing company or corporation converts thousands of its cars to EVs, it instantly shifts the statistics. In smaller regions, you sometimes see anomalous spikes in EV share, explained by a large fleet registered in that area. This is a quiet but very powerful market driver. All of this is reinforced by the cultural and urban context. Scandinavian society is traditionally very sensitive to environmental and climate issues. But it's not just ethics, it's also practicality. Cities actively promote restrictions on entry for older, polluting ICE cars. EV owners, conversely, get priority, free parking, the ability to use HOV lanes for high occupancy vehicles, including EVs and, in some cases, free passage on toll roads. This creates an additional intangible yet very weighty motivation to choose an electric car. Let's summarize with examples. Norway is the absolute world champion. In 2024 to 2025, almost 90% of new cars are fully electric. Their success is the result of 40 years of consistent, aggressive tax policy. Sweden is also showing strong growth, with a BEV market share of about 30 to 35%. They focus on corporate benefits and rapid electrification. Denmark applies a more mixed, cautious approach. They gradually remove incentives as the market grows but maintain strong infrastructure support and corporate stimuli. Each country has its own path, but the foundation is the same. But, of course, not everything is perfect. There are challenges. Northern winters mean battery capacity loss, though technology is improving. In the most remote areas, fast charging issues remain. And critically, the rapid growth of EVs creates a significant load on the power grid. Plus, there's the risk of overheating incentives. If the government tries to withdraw them abruptly, as happened with some taxes in Norway, the market can temporarily slow down until adaptation occurs. The conclusion is clear. Scandinavian leadership is not a mystery. It's market engineering. Other countries can adopt just three keys. One, long-term predictable tax rules that make the EV significantly cheaper than the ICE. Two, aggressive targeted investments in the charging network. Three, smart support for corporate fleets and urban measures that make the EV more convenient than petrol cars. Without this trio, a rapid transition will not happen. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and of course, tell me in the comments. Which country do you think is best prepared for the EV future? See you next time!